So on Sunday, September the 18th in Semple Stadium in Thurles, we have the Semple Field Day, which has been organised in association with Tipperary GAA and Fiserv. The event will run from approximately 1 o'clock all day and all afternoon, and with all funds and all proceeds going to North and South Tipperary Hospice. Joining me now on Tip GAA TV, we have John O'Heaney, Eileen Kennedy and Brian Fogarty. So we might start with yourself, John. Maybe you might just tell me a little bit about yourself and what your involvement in the South Tipperary Hospice movement is.
Hello, my name is John O'Heaney and I'm from Latin, just outside Tipperary town, and I'm on the board of directors of the South Tipperary Hospice movement. I suppose I've been involved with the hospice over a number of years, doing some major fundraising events for them, and a couple of years ago I was asked to join the board of directors, which I gladly accepted. And over the past few years I've been involved in different events in order to help promote and to fundraise for the South Tipperary Hospice movement.
That's great, John. And I suppose obviously the hospice being a voluntary organisation as such is very dependent on fundraising and initiatives and fundraising drives such as the Semple Field Day on September the 18th in Semple Stadium.
Well, it costs somewhere in the region of around €850,000 to run the South Tipperary Hospice movement each year, which is a huge amount of money. And our most recent grant allocation from the HSE was only around 220,000. So we're roughly fundraising around 2/3 of the cost of running the hospice each year. And the South Tipperary Hospice movement provides specialist palliative care for all end-of-life patients in South Tipperary and West Waterford. Last year there was around 294 referrals to the hospice, and as I speak right now there's currently 90 patients on the books of the South Tipperary Hospice movement, which is a huge amount of people, and it's a huge undertaking to provide the funding necessary so in order for them to have a good quality care at the end of their life.
Lovely, John. And I suppose moving to yourself, Brian, obviously Fiserv, when they came on board with Tipperary GAA, always wanted to do something to be, involved in the community and something that was obviously positive, and that to show that Fiserv really are community based. They like being involved in the community, and they like to play their part in raising money and raising badly needed funds for organisations such as the hospice. So maybe you might just tell me a little bit about what's going to happen on the day in Semple Stadium and the surrounds of Semple Stadium. Maybe give people a rundown on the day and what they can expect when they come to Semple Stadium, Brian.
Sure, yeah. So it's a fairly packed day. From 11:30 we're going to have registration of the dogs. So the dog show will be starting around 1 p.m. and you can register your dogs from 11:30. And then at the same time the dome will open from 11:30 where the bingo will take place, and the bingo will be starting at 1 p.m. as well. So from 1 p.m. then from about 1 p.m. we'll also have all the market stalls. So we have numbers of market stalls, I think, at the moment, and we're still a week away and there's still some spots left there, but we have close on 30 market stalls there at the moment. So they'll be running the whole day from 12 p.m. right up to when it ends, which should be around 7 p.m. And then from 2 p.m. on in the field itself inside in Semple Stadium, we'll have your usual games like the kids' games, and we've a number of little novelty games, and we're getting lots more to come in there. So then from just around 4 p.m. on, we'll be starting into our Wheel of Fortune. We haven't seen a Wheel of Fortune in many places for a long time, so we're really getting excited with the Wheel of Fortune. We've lots of items that have been contributed here to the hospice, so we're going to be selling off those, as well as we've kind of a larger auction that's going to be taking place from about 4:30 or 5 o'clock on. So the whole day should take between 11:30 right up to maybe 6, 6:30.
So it sounds like a really great day and a really family day, Brian, I suppose. So there's something there for everybody, from obviously the bingo to the dog show and then the fun and games for the children as well around the field. And isn't it great that we have such a facility like FBD Semple Stadium, that we can run such an event? Big stands there in case people can sit down, relax, maybe even have a picnic, do whatever they want. So it promises to be a great day.
Absolutely, and we have provisions, of course, with the weather the way as it is, even in the last couple of weeks, where we have provisions made that once it's any way right at all, we're lucky with the dome, we're lucky with the stadium, the way it's set up, we're lucky that under the stands we can set up things. So even if the day is that little bit drizzly, because of the way it is, it's perfect. Ideal setup for what we need. Just as well to comment about we've been promised that some of the players are going to be there, and we have some other kind of celebrities that are going to show up on the day. So look, it's going to be a great day for everybody, young and old.
Brilliant. And turning to yourself, Eileen, I suppose you've been involved in the hospice for many, many years now in North Tipperary Hospice, and it's a passion really for yourself, Eileen. And I know that that every day is a new day, and it provides new challenges for everybody involved in the hospice. And obviously, something like the Semple Field Day, which will take place on September the 18th in Semple Stadium, is really something that yourself and your colleagues really look forward to, I would imagine.
Absolutely, Jonathan, and I suppose I'd just like to thank Fiserv and Brian Fogarty and Tipperary GAA for actually, and I'd really encourage the 72 clubs that are in the county. It's a marvellous occasion to have 72 clubs coming out to support a very worthy cause. North Tipperary Hospice is all funded by voluntary donations. We have no government funding, and we provide the palliative in-home care service where people with cancer or with a lifelong illness can die at home with their family with dignity and respect, and we provide all the equipment, and all our services are free of charge. We have our 3 cancer care centres in Shorehaven in Thurles, Suveness in Nina, Rossgrey Outreach, and we provide information and support, counselling, therapies, all kinds of support for the people going through cancer or a life-limiting illness or their family members. So I have been involved for 14 years at this stage. I'm a volunteer counsellor, and I'm secretary of North Tipperary Hospice, and it's a privilege to be able to help people. But I really appreciate every person that will come and support us in Semple Stadium.
That's great, Eileen. And I suppose if you had one message that you could give to people who might be thinking about coming along on September the 18th to Semple Stadium, what would that be?
Well, I don't think there's any person in Tipperary that hasn't been affected by either a cancer or lifelong limiting illness, and I really ask you all to come out and support us. We have 500,000 and 800,000 in South Tipperary. It's an enormous amount, but we never fail to collect it because of the goodness of the people, and we need the people to come and support us, and also to come and meet us, because we'd love to tell people. A lot of people don't realise, a lot of people think that the state are actually funding the services, which they're actually not. So we'd be delighted to come along and see what we provide. And it's actually the 30th anniversary of Bewley's Coffee for hospice. And we're delighted that Tipperary, our candidate that has hosted the most coffee mornings in the country is actually Bernie forgetting her name now. And she's actually nominated for an award for it. So we're actually going to run the coffee morning at Semple Stadium, and the hospice are going to run that part of it. So.
That's great. And John, 1.3 million to run both North and South Tipperary Hospice, as Eileen has outlined there. That's a huge amount of money, and it takes an awful lot of fundraising and events and an awful lot of hard work to bring in that kind of money. So obviously the Semple Field Day would play a major part in that, and that's why it's really so important that people and clubs around the county, and indeed people from outside the county, get behind this day, come to Thurles, make it a day out, have a great day with their family, with their friends, maybe meet people that they haven't met in quite some time, bring them to Semple Stadium and have some fun.
Absolutely, and I suppose both the South and the North Tipperary Hospices rely on a huge amount of volunteerism and people around the local communities, and this is a really special event because it's the first time that I ever remember that both hospices have come together in my time involved. And I suppose, as Eileen already alluded to, we cannot thank Fiserv enough, and especially Brian Fogarty here. And Brian is a Golden Kilfeacle man, which is in the heart of South Tipperary. And now that we know his great work and the things he's doing for the hospice at the minute, we might get him involved in a few more projects as the time goes on. But it's a huge amount of money, and it's a major undertaking to keep both hospices in the county running to the best of their abilities. And we would encourage anyone who has a little bit of spare time on Sunday to just pop into Semple Stadium. If it's only for half an hour, or if you're able to spend the day there, there'll be something there for everybody. And it's a date for the diary and one to look forward to.
Great. And Brian, just maybe last word to yourself. What message have you got to people out there about the field day on Sunday, September the 18th, and what would you like to see happening on that day? What is, I suppose, Fiserv's real aim and wish for this day?
Well, we have a simple aim, is to try and aim. The lads have just told us here that the cost of running the hospice, we look after kind of lots of charities through the year. We try to be very involved in the community, and you can see probably through the sponsorships with TIP, we've kind of done a lot with all the clubs and through the GAA itself. So this is just our bit for the hospice as well. So really, we've kind of looked to people to kind of look at their pockets, I suppose, try and get out, kind of bring a small few quid. If it's only €5, it's a €5 towards the pot. You could come in and have a great day for just that €5. If it's €50, great. And just a kind of a bit of a call out to the clubs and to the businesses around. If anybody wants to donate anything, if anybody can't make it on the day and they still want to give us a few quid or give something that'll help towards that auction, there's loads of ways. You can contact John, you can contact Eileen, or you can contact me. I think my name is around there. People have seen my number on most of the posters, but I'll give it to you here again. It's 087 811 3012. No problem, give me a buzz, or brian.fogarty@fiserv.com. and you'll get me, no problem if you want to make any contribution to the day. But look, as the lad said, it's going to be the day that's going to be fantastic, one to remember, and it'll be pity to miss out on it.
That's great. And we all look forward to what shall be, as you said, a fantastic day in FBD Semple Stadium on September the 18th. So I thank once again John O'Heaney, Eileen Kennedy and Brian Fogarty for joining me this afternoon on TIP GAA TV.